put down off so I can get some water. Camera turn. Yeah, click there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Matt, it looks like we're live.
Great. Thank you, Lawrence. Welcome, everybody. We will begin shortly. Thank you for joining us today.
Can I start the screen?
Yes, please, Bang.
Yeah.
Turn my mic.
Bang, please let me know when you're ready for me to let the honorees into the Zoom to begin the ceremony.
I am ready.
Okay, great. I will let everybody in now and we'll get ready to begin. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Zicklin School of Business Honor Ceremony. This ceremony and celebration are among the most important of the year for the Zicklin School, allowing us to honor our highest achieving students and to recognize our best faculty. Today, students will be inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma, Sigma Iota Epsilon, and Sigma Nu Tau, and 7 faculty members will be recognized with Teaching Excellence Awards. The following representatives from the college are taking part in today's ceremony: Dr. Linda Essig, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs; Janet Rossbach, Director of the Alumni Relations and Volunteer Engagement; Professor Elliot Axelrod, President of the Beta Gamma Sigma Epsilon Chapter; Professor Albert Croker from the Paul H. Chook Department of Information Systems and Statistics; Professor Helene Korn, Executive Director of Graduate Programs and Professor in the Narendra Paul Luma Department of Management; Professor Christopher Meyer, also from the Luma Department of Management, who will preside over the induction of Sigma Nu Tau; Professor Paula Walter from the Department of Law; Professor Xiaoli Yin from the Narendra Paul Luma Department of Management, who will preside over the induction of Sigma Iota Epsilon. We are ready to begin our ceremony, and I would like to introduce you to and welcome Provost Linda Essig.
Thank you, Dean Davis Friday, and welcome students, graduates, faculty, and family members. On behalf of Baruch College, I am here to say congratulations to each and every one of you on your academic achievements that have gotten you to this point today. When you complete and graduate with a degree from the Zicklin School of Business at Baruch College, you'll be entering the workforce equipped to be ethical and effective decision makers leaders, and community change makers. Today's ceremony marks not an ending, but a beginning of your journey of lifelong learning. And I hope that as you continue on that journey, you will continue to be members of the Baruch College and Zicklin School of Business communities. With that, I say congratulations and pass it back to Dean Davis Friday.
Thank you so much, Provost Essick. Next on the agenda is Janet Rosbach, Director of the Office of Alumni and Relations and Volunteer Engagement. Janet?
Thank you so much. I am delighted to be part of this ceremony. Congratulations, everyone. You have worked so hard, and today is a celebration of all of your accomplishments. I look forward to you joining the Baruch Alumni Network and the extended Zicklin Alumni Network. There are over 165,000 graduates around the world, with approximately 100,000 in the New York City area. This network is your network for you to access for the rest of your professional life. There are over 143,000 alumni listed on LinkedIn, so be sure to keep your profile up to date. And we have dozens of alumni networks for you to become active with, as well as over 80 events a year for you to participate in. Some of you may have received our 100 days communications over the last many days, and know that we are offering LinkedIn headshots for the next 3 days. And we also will be offering a cap decorating event over the next few weeks. So please keep an eye on those 100 days communications. I really applaud you all for your accomplishments up to this day. I hope the next several weeks are full of joy, and that you will remain active Baruch Bearcats. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Janet. Acknowledging outstanding students and faculty is by far the most heartwarming and pleasurable duty of the entire year. I am particularly pleased to be able to bestow the Zicklin School of Business Teaching Excellence Awards. Learning and teaching are hallmarks of a great educational institution, and Baruch College is fortunate to have a long-standing dedication to excellence in teaching. We in the Zicklin School are very happy to have many talented faculty, and we have been very pleased to attract new faculty who are dedicated to creating exciting learning experiences. In fact, we are welcoming almost 20 new faculty in the next academic year. If you have been fortunate enough to take a class with any of the Teaching Excellence Award winners, I am certain you will agree they do an outstanding job in the classroom. So without further ado, I'm pleased to announce and call up the 2023 awardees. I will first read each of their names, and then as they appear in order, I'll provide more information about each of them. They are from our 7 academic departments: Professor Monica Niemchu from the Stan Ross Department of Accountancy, Professor Dexon Zhou from the Wasserman Department of Economics and Finance, Professor Chao-Chun Deng from the Chuk Department of Information Systems and Statistics, Professor Patrick Reed from the Department of Law, Professor Judith Reiba from the Lumber Department of Management, Professor Anna Valenzuela from the Aronson Department of Marketing and International Business, and Professor Pavel Krovenko from the Newman Department of Real Estate. So if Professor Niemchu is able to join us, I'll start with introducing her. Professor Niemchu has taught Accounting 4100 since 2017. That is a required advanced course in the department. And at all times, her teaching evaluations in this course have been superb. For example, in the fall of 2021, she taught 2 sections of the class, and the students' teaching evaluations on the instructor-oriented questions range from 4.6 to 4.9. Professor Niemchu regularly gets teaching evaluations that far exceed the department average. In addition to being an excellent and dedicated teacher, Professor Niamtu continues to publish in premier academic journals and provides considerable valuable service to the department and school. Congratulations, Professor Niamtu. Next, from the Wasserman Department of Economics and Finance is Professor Dexter Zhou. Professor Zhou's pedagogical approach emphasizes the fusion of textbook knowledge and real-world events to enrich student learning. Acknowledging that education extends beyond the classroom, he inspires students to actively analyze financial headlines using the insights gained throughout the semester. His lessons are highly interactive, promoting student participation and problem solving. To ensure sustained engagement, Professor Zhou continuously invites students' input and has devised a series of online interactive modules that showcase the core principles of corporate finance. His lectures strike a balance between lightheartedness and rigor, blending humor with high expectations for student achievement. By persistently motivating students to venture outside their comfort zones and dedicating ample time to assist those in need, Professor Zhou creates a supportive and dynamic learning environment. Congratulations, Dexter. Next, from the Chuk Department of Information Systems and Statistics is Chapun Dang. Professor Dang joined Baruch in 2019, and she has taught courses on data mining and natural language processing. She offered the very first section of the natural language processing course and has since refined the course significantly. It is one of the advanced courses in the department that integrates many concepts students have learned in multiple courses on data analytics, like programming, data wrangling, manipulation, and analysis and mining. She played a critical role in developing the course and making it successful. In the last term, her teaching evaluation was one of the highest for full-time faculty in the department. She has also maintained strong teaching evaluations throughout her entire tenure here at Baruch College. Congratulations, Professor Dang. From the Department of Law, next is Professor Reed. Professor Reed has gone above and beyond for the department and the school this year and is an excellent classroom teacher. He's a master at leading the class in a logical and clear way. Patrick also uses technology in his classes effectively. He presents a short case problem and then polls students throughout the class as he changes and adjusts the case facts to get various points across and to change the results. Professor Reed, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
From the Lumba Department of Management, Professor Ryba. Professor Ryba has been a valued member of the Lumba Department of Management for almost a decade. She has taught upper level and capstone undergraduate courses, as well as MBA courses with unwavering distinction and enthusiasm. Besides her obvious expertise in the content of these courses, Judith is highly skilled at leading case discussions and creative experimental exercises that help students effectively grasp important concepts. Reviews of her teaching by students and peers have always been stellar. In addition to her instructional responsibilities, Judith is the coordinator for the Capstone Business Policy course. This is a challenging task given the high number of sections each semester which need to be scheduled and staffed. Currently, she serves as the course coordinator for Zicklin's BBA Capstone course, Business Policy, and is involved in revising that course. Congratulations, Professor Ryba.
Thank you very much.
Next, from the Aronson Department of Marketing and International Business, Professor Ana Valenzuela. Professor Valenzuela teaches Marketing 9703 Marketing Management course to MS and MBA students with a lot of enthusiasm. Her students find her class intellectually challenging, but she makes herself easily available to students outside of the class to enhance their learning, and she creates a discussion-rich class environment where graduate students can learn the best. Professor Valenzuela is also the academic director of the Doctorate in Business Administration. Congratulations, Anna. Finally, from the Newman Department of Real Estate, Professor Pavel Kravenko. Professor Kravenko teaches real estate and has strong evaluations and helps students in a very collegial department member. He is well liked by his students, his colleagues, and he remains research active while dedicating a lot of time to the classroom. Congratulations, Professor Kravenko. Next, I'd like to introduce Professor Xiaoli Lin from the Department of Management for the induction of Sigma Iota Epsilon Honor Society.
Thank you, Dean Davis Friday. Good morning and congratulations for all of you for your accomplishments here at Baruch College. Sigma Iota Epsilon is a national honor society for the field of management. The Greek letters in our name stand for earnestness, knowledge, and excellence. SIE student members are recognized for being the top achievers academically, professionally, and socially. The emblem of Sigma Iota Epsilon is a gold key of conventional design. In the upper right is a replica of the old Slater textile mill, the first factory built in the US at Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and symbolic of factory production where science was first applied to the work of management. In the lower left is a representation of functional organization developed by F.W. Taylor and symbolic of management techniques. The honor of membership in Sigma Iota Epsilon brings certain obligations. Before accepting you formally into SIE, we would like to explain our philosophy of creative development, organization, cooperation, and service. First, SIE encourages development of resources, both human and material. As members of SIE, we pledge to never neglect the opportunities for creativity and personal development in our lives through meaningful activities in the classroom, in the workplace, and during chapter activities. We also encourage you to constantly strive to develop your managerial abilities so that you may not only enhance your own careers, but moreover, better serve those to whom you are responsible. Supporting our key is a chain which is symbolic of the spirit of cooperation. If one link in the chain of our key should fail, then the whole key is lost. Members should uphold the value of unity and cooperation and understand their importance to the field of management. We, as managers, also provide service, which contributes greatly to our fellow men and women as well as future generations. Here then is your challenge, to take part in building a profession capable of serving employees, owners, customers, clients, and all of society through that creative activity known as management. Now it's an honor to read the following names of this year's SIE inductees. Amy Liu, Gladys Mai, John Paul McAllister, Juliana Miranda, Nafis Nu, Nancy Guan, Pei Wenzhou, Phoebe Baluyut, Danvi Kudarelli, and William Eisenhardt. Having heard our philosophy, do you now accept those goals and resolve to pursue these ideals to the best of your ability? If so, please click on the reaction button and raise your hand to confirm and type your name into the chat to affirm. We now congratulate you and welcome you into full membership in Sigma Iota Epsilon. Now for the induction of Sigma Nu Tau is Professor Meyer from the Management Department.
Hello, everyone, and thank you very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to present the Sigma Nu Tau Honor Society Awards and welcome our students into Sigma Nu Tau. The Greek letter Sigma, which is similar to our E, stands for entrepreneurship and enterprise. The letter Nu signifies just what it sounds like, new, and doing new and innovative things. And Tau signifies tenacity and the determination that entrepreneurs and innovators need to possess in order to bring their new ideas out into the world. Baruch is one of 46 Sigma Nu Tau honor societies across the country. And Sigma Nu Tau's work is in line with the goals and values of the Lawrence N. Field Center for Entrepreneurship here at Baruch. To quote, the vision of Sigma Nu Tau is to be a network of well-educated entrepreneurs striving to create a positive and ethical impact on businesses, consumers, and the global economy. And their mission is to promote, recognize, honor, and reward academic excellence in entrepreneurship and to encourage and recognize the practice of principled entrepreneurship. Here at the Field Center in the Zicklin School, per our website, we provide a comprehensive, contemporary, integrated set of educational and support services to current and aspiring entrepreneurs within the New York City entrepreneurial ecosystem. In so doing, our faculty and staff seek to cultivate the creativity and enrich the futures of all those we serve. So we're here today to honor and reward academic excellence in entrepreneurship at Baruch. And I'd also like to thank the Lawrence N. Field Center for Entrepreneurship for their support, both in very direct ways, such as funding these Sigma Nu Tau Awards, and also for the work that they do each and every day to help Baruch students build entrepreneurial skills. So I'd now like to recognize each of the Sigma Nu Tau inductees and congratulate them for their outstanding work here at Baruch. Michelle Bernabel, Ethan Davidov, Caitlin Ellinger, Rohan Kapoor, Benjamin Loshinsky, Deidre McIntyre, Carla Morales, and Sandra Smith. So congratulations to all of you, and now I'd like to ask you to take the Sigma Nu Tau Pledge. I pledge to uphold the mission, the values, and the ideals of Sigma Nu Tau Entrepreneurship Honor Society. I will strive to use my education and experience to create successful ventures and a better society, and I will challenge myself and others to be principled entrepreneurs. I will be honest in my dealings with others and seek always to represent Sigma Nu Tau and Baruch College with integrity. So if you agree to uphold this pledge, please click on the reaction button and raise your Zoom hand to confirm, and then type your name into the chat to affirm. So thank you very much, and congratulations again to our honorees for your excellent work.
Thank you, Professors Yin and Meyer, and congratulations to all of the Sigma Iota Epsilon and Sigma Nu Tau inductees. Next, I'd like to introduce Professor Iota Epsilon from the Department of Law and President of the Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society at the Zicklin School of Business. Professor Axelrod.
Thank you, Dean Davis Friday. Congratulations and welcome to this wonderful ceremony. It's a joy to celebrate with you and your proud and special guests this momentous occasion. As president of the Epsilon chapter of Beta Gamma Sigma, I'm called upon to tell you a little bit about our history. Our history is very interesting and colorful. It is, of course, closely tied to the career of Bernard M. Baruch, a statesman, financier, and devoted alumnus. So let me tell you a little bit about Bernard Baruch. He was born in 1870 in South Carolina, the son of immigrant parents. In 1880, he moved to Manhattan, where he enrolled, where he entered the public school system. In 1899, he graduated from the City College of New York, whose mission was to educate the sons and daughters of immigrants and thereby bring them into the middle class. Today, Baruch students come from 160 different countries. Baruch then began a career on Wall Street at the huge salary of $3 per week. Yes. Within 10 years, though, he became a self-made millionaire. Excuse me. His counsel was sought by 7 consecutive United States presidents. In 1917, Baruch was called upon by President Woodrow Wilson to lead the War Industries Board. His efforts and work contributed greatly to the victory in World War I. After the war, Baruch returned to New York City and in 1919 established the School of Business and Public Administration as part of City College. Understand that at that time, less than 3% of the nation's college-age people went to college. It was an advantage and privilege that was reserved for the privileged and the rich. In 1933, the school was invited to install a chapter of Beta Gamma Sigma. In 1935, a select 25 students were the first inductees. In 1953, the school was renamed in honor of Bernard Baruch, and in 1963 became an independent senior college as part of the City University of New York. Today, we honor and induct into Beta Gamma Sigma 102 of you to join the notable ranks of membership. Among the acclaimed members of our chapter of Beta Gamma Sigma are leaders in all fields of business, including accountants, lawyers, judges, university presidents, provosts, and deans, government offices, legislators, and more. Membership in Beta Gamma Sigma is an honor that you will carry throughout your professional careers. It is a gold medal that you will wear for the rest of your lives. And it all began right here at the Zicklin School of Business of Baruch College. Congratulations to you all. Next, it is our custom at this ceremony to honor one or more faculty members and or administrators as Beta Gamma Sigma honorees. All of our past honorees have made notable contributions to the life of the college, Zicklin School of Business, and of course, our students. Today, we recognize and honor Professor Yildiray Yildirim. Professor Yildirim is the chair of the William Newman Department of Real Estate and the director of the Stephen L. Newman Real Estate Institute here at the Zicklin School of Business. He is a distinguished fellow in real estate and economics and holds a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering, a master's in economics, and a PhD in statistics. His research interests are in the area of real estate finance, particularly in mortgage securitization, commercial leasing, climate risks, and affordable housing. He has been cited in numerous newspapers and magazines and on TV shows, including US News, Business Week, and Bloomberg TV. Professor Yildirim serves on the editorial boards of multiple important industry journals and has consulted for real estate companies, banks, rating companies, and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Professor Yildiray is a scholar of the highest order, a talented and caring teacher, and an innovator, and a collegial colleague to all. Congratulations, Professor Yildirim. Are you here, Professor Yildirim? Okay, Professor Yildirim is actually in Europe right now. He is doing a scholarly presentation for an important group. He said he would try to join us if he could. The time there, I think, is about 4 p.m. Obviously, he could not join. So I will accept this on his behalf with his thanks and his gratitude for the honor. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations, Professor Yildirim. Okay, let's talk about Beta Gamma Sigma and the meaning of Beta Gamma Sigma. Beta Gamma Sigma is dedicated to the development of leadership and professional excellence. The 3 principles of Beta Gamma Sigma are emboldened in the 3 Greek letters whose first letters form the name of our society: Beta, Gamma, and Sigma. Here to tell you the meanings of these words are 3 distinguished Baruch faculty members, all of whom are past Beta Gamma Sigma faculty honorees. First, to tell you about Beta is Professor Paula Walter of the Department of Law. Professor Walter?
Thank you. Beta is the first letter of the Greek word bios, which means honor. Honor is personal integrity and excellence of character. It is an enduring quality found in all persons who lead others successfully. All honorable persons conscientiously seek to recognize and encourage that which is ethical and that which is just. They acknowledge those human failings that might compromise their honor in the pursuit of financial gain. They are also well aware of the difficulty in distinguishing right from wrong when faced with alternative goals and a multitude of pressures to achieve them. But their honor is coupled with resolute courage. They may falter and they may fail, but they rise again with renewed determination to do what is right. Their reputations are their most valued possessions. Worthy members of Beta Gamma Sigma seek to act honorably at all times, and in so doing, provide peace of mind for others while acting as examples for others. Honor is a guiding star that encourages altruism and enlightened social responsibility. I ask you to accept honor as an ideal that guides your conduct every day of your lives. Thanks.
Thank you, Paula. Next, to tell you about Gamma is Professor Albert Croker of the Paul H. Chuk Department of Information Services and Statistics.
Good morning, everyone. And before I read that, I'd like to congratulate all of the inductees and their family and friends. You've achieved a lot, and we are looking forward for achievement in the future. Okay, Gamma. Gamma is the first letter of the Greek word gnosis, that means wisdom. Wisdom is knowledge tested by experience and tempered by discerning judgment. It abhors prejudice and insists on freedom of thought and expression. Truly wise persons are aware of their talents and achievements, but they're also acutely aware of their own limitations and are sensitive to other people's shortcomings. They're quick to acknowledge their dependence on masters who have gone on before and gratefully accept the rich cultural heritage they have provided. Wise persons constantly seek to apply and better comprehend that which is known. At the same time, they're also engaged in a quest to understand that which is not yet known. Wise persons look forward to a future that promises a geometric expansion of the existing store of knowledge. Confronted by a flood of facts and concepts, they must exercise special discrimination as they interpret, arrange, and apply. I ask you to continue your quest for wisdom, nurture it, and utilize it in your conduct every day of your lives. Gamma. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Finally, to tell you about Sigma is Professor Helene Korn of the Narendra Paul Lumba Department of Management.
Thanks, Elliot. Sigma is the first letter of the Greek word spude, which means earnestness. Earnestness is enthusiasm measured by achievement, disciplined by reason, and ennobled by sincerity. It is a dynamic quality essential for all great achievement. Earnest persons have the courage to match their convictions. They inspire confidence, invite action, and generate progress. Without earnestness, both wisdom and honor lose much of their effectiveness. Noble purposes may only remain as dreams without the driving power of sensible enthusiasm. The greatest personal achievements are tributes to the blending of these attributes in the hearts and minds of true leaders. Each of you has been granted substantial gifts of ability, and as a result, a great deal is expected of you. Earnestness will provide you with perseverance in the face of fatigue, persistence in the face of opposition, and resilience that overcomes reverses. To the earnest person, challenges are merely opportunities for accomplishment. I wish you to accept earnestness as a guide in your personal conduct every day of your life.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Okay, and now the main event, induction into Beta Gamma Sigma. Along with our student inductees, I will also induct our faculty honoree, Professor Yildiray Yildirim, and our distinguished keynote speaker, Ms. Salome Makarazde. I'm sorry, I hope I pronounced your name right. She will be introduced to you more formally a little later by Dean Davis Friday. I will now read the Beta Gamma Sigma induction pledge and then ask if you accept this pledge as your own. This is the pledge. I pledge to maintain and uphold the ideals and principles of Beta Gamma Sigma. I will guard and cherish honor, strive to acquire wisdom, and cultivate earnestness in all of my undertakings. As a member of the Epsilon chapter, I will seek to advance the interests of the Zicklin School of Business, my community, my nation, and the global environment. Candidates, do you accept the pledge as your own? If so, please indicate by clicking the reaction button and raising your hand to confirm, and then type your name into the chat to affirm. Okay. Keep doing that. Oh, I see a lot of names. That's wonderful. Great. Okay, candidates, by the authority vested in me by the National Beta Gamma Sigma Society, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to induct and welcome you to membership in Beta Gamma Sigma. Congratulations. Each of you will receive a certificate of membership and an official Beta Gamma Sigma pin. You will also have the opportunity at the college to sign the Beta Gamma Sigma Great Roll Book, whose first signature was one of our students, Abraham Beam, who became mayor of New York City. You will also receive an email with a link to complete your membership profile and pay your membership fee. Finally, I would like to thank Ms. Judy Che, Zicklin Director of Undergraduate Programs and Beta Gamma Sigma Executive Coordinator, for her meticulous efforts, hard work, and dedication in putting this ceremony together. Judy has been doing this for over 25 years. Thank you so much, Judy. And now I turn these proceedings back to Dean Davis Friday. Dean Friday.
Congratulations, Beta Gamma Sigma inductees, and thank you so much, Judy. Now, I'd like to take some time to recognize Professor Axelrod for all of his work and contributions to the school and for his role as the president of the Beta Gamma Sigma Epsilon chapter at Baruch College since 2010. At the end of this spring semester, After 14 years of committed service, Professor Axelrod will step down as president of the Baruch College chapter of Beta Gamma Sigma. During his tenure, so many of our deserving students have been honored with induction into Beta Gamma Sigma, the International Honor Society for AACSB accredited schools, which make up the top 5% of business school programs around the world. We wish to take this opportunity to honor and recognize Professor Axelrod for his dedicated leadership and innovation, not only with Beta Gamma Sigma, but also in his entire academic career at the Zicklin School of Business and Baruch College. Professor Axelrod served as chair of the Department of Law for 24 years, and then as interim chair of the Newman Department of Real Estate. Additionally, he has served with distinction on myriad school, college, and university committees, including educational policy, curriculum development, academic freedom, the Faculty Senate Executive Committee, pluralism and diversity, faculty and administrative recruitment, and more. Professor Axelrod is also the recipient of multiple awards for excellence in teaching, service, and scholarship. We congratulate, thank, and wish you well, Professor Axelrod. Would you please take some time to say a few words?
Yes, thank you so much, Pakita. I'm very moved by those wonderful words. It's been my pleasure and honor to be here at Baruch for 42 years and to render any service I can. Again, thank you so much for this honor, Pakita.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Salome Makaradze, alumna and managing director at Goldman Sachs. Ms. Makaradze is a managing director in the Alternatives Capital Markets and Strategy Group within Goldman Sachs Asset Management. ACMS oversees institutional capital markets, capital raising, and client strategy for alternative investments. Ms. Makaradze is a member of the Asset Management Sustainability Council and is the co-head of the America's Asset Management Women's Network. Prior to the formation of ACMS in 2019, Salome was a member of the Strategic Capital Group in the Merchant Banking Division. And prior to that, she spent more than 3 years in the executive office, working with 2 of Goldman Sachs presidents and chief operating officers, as well as the firm's chief administrative officer, to develop and implement key strategic initiatives for the firm and its clients. Salome joined Goldman Sachs in 2005 as an analyst and was named managing director in 2019. Ms. Makaradze is a trustee of the Baruch College Fund and a 2021 Millennium Fellow at the Atlantic Council and the founder and co-chair of the Millennium Fellowship Alumni Board. She earned a BBA in finance with a minor in Spanish and a JD at Baruch Zicklin School and a JD from Fordham University Law School. She's also a member of the New York State Bar. Salome, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you so much for that introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you today, and from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to congratulate you all for being inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma. Congratulations to you, and I believe your families are here today as well, so congratulations to you and your families. What an amazing accomplishment, and I hope you all are feeling very proud today. And I'm honored to be your keynote speaker on this Friday, beautiful New York City morning. So when I was asked to share a bit about my story and my Baruch experience, it got me thinking, what would be the most helpful thing for this group to hear about? If I were in your shoes today, even though it was a really long time ago, as you can hear from my bio, what advice would I want my younger self to hear about from another Baruch alumna? So I decided that I will tell you about my journey, starting from the very beginning, and I would weave in 3 pieces of advice that have resonated with me the most throughout my experiences to date. So like many of you, I'm an immigrant. I was born and raised in Georgia, the country, not the US state. And I grew up in this beautiful place, Georgia, in the Caucasus Mountains, surrounded by the richness of history and culture, but also lots of challenges following the collapse of the Soviet Union. So when I was 16 years old, I won a US State Department scholarship that was looking to bring students from former Soviet Union states into the US. And I came to the US for 1 year to study at a high school. I spent 1 year in South New Jersey, where I lived with a host family, and I experienced firsthand what life of a teenager was like in the US. Something, by the way, I had only before then seen in the movies, in the American movies. But I loved it here, and I longed to stay in the US to further my education. Luckily, through the help of many, what I would call fairy godmothers and godfathers that I have been blessed to have throughout my life, I received an opportunity to further my education at Baruch while living in New York City. So when I came to Baruch, arriving here was like coming to a completely different country, especially, as you can imagine, compared to my experiences a year prior in a small town of Elmer, South Jersey, which was also a bit of a cultural shock for me. But I remember standing in the vertical campus lobby. This was probably week 1 of my Baruch experience, watching students from all over the world, just like all of you, rushing to their classes, club meetings, part-time jobs, internships. I felt very lost, but I also felt very invigorated by the opportunity of the future that was ahead of me. And it didn't take too long to feel like I was part of the Baruch community. Baruch really embraced me, and I embraced it back by getting really involved at school, but also very much focusing on my academics. So when I arrived to Baruch, I was really excited to join a club on campus. I'm sure many of you belong to different clubs here. But unfortunately, I didn't feel passionate about any of the choices. I was really passionate about international relations and diplomacy. I was looking for an opportunity to get involved through school. So after some research, I decided to start my own club. So I actually ended up as a sophomore founding the Model United Nations chapter at Baruch, which was the first of its kind. And so I'm really thrilled to know that so many years later, this club is still thriving. I was told that they won the Outstanding Delegation Award earlier this spring at the Nationals. If any of you, I don't see all of you here, but if any of you are part of MUN, huge congrats. I'm really, really proud of you. And I can't believe that this club is still going strong. Some other experiences and highlights of my Baruch time included, I worked at the Student Life Office. I was part of the honors program, and I also worked there as a student advisor right up until my graduation. I served as a secretary of the Golden Key International Honor Society. It took me a bit to decide on my major, but I ultimately chose to pursue finance and combined it with my love of languages. As you heard in my bio, I minored in Spanish. So looking back, like all of you here, I worked very hard at Baruch. I worked very hard at school, but I was also very disciplined to be able to fit all of this in, fit all of these activities in, and still have quite a rewarding college experience. And this brings me to the first piece of advice to all of you that I wanted to share with you, but also would have wanted somebody in my shoes to share with a younger version of me. Do not underestimate the value of hard work. Really, nothing beats hard work and discipline. And I strongly believe that you bring luck to yourself if you have that discipline and strong work ethic. Clearly, you are all here because you've learned this valuable lesson, and you are inducted as part of this honorable organization because of that work ethic. But I wanted to, again, urge you to remember that nothing can beat hard work, as the old adage goes, but the hard work itself. And this is not only about balancing it all, but really, to me, had to do with prioritizing my academics as much as possible. And as you can see, it paid off, because when you're looking for an internship or a full-time job, you're really competing against students from other schools. And so your grades, your academic achievements, and the hard work you put into that is very important. Back to my journey. So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do after graduation, even after I had chosen to study finance. And so that all changed actually one day when a friend asked me to join her on an on-campus event hosted by a firm I had never heard about. The firm was called Goldman Sachs. And I remember walking home after the information session that was hosted at Baruch by Goldman and calling my sister. I felt so excited to tell her about the company I had just learned about and the nice people that I met. And I remember telling her, Nino, I will work there someday. And this leads me to the second lesson that I wish I could have told my younger self. And I keep telling this to my adult self to even today. Jump higher than you think you can and create your own opportunities, even when one doesn't naturally present to you. The best and easiest way to do this is by creating a solid foundation through the hard work and discipline that I mentioned earlier. But even when something feels completely unattainable and you believe you're not qualified for an opportunity, you do need to put aside fear, imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, and put your best foot forward. Example of me is I did not have any experience or any knowledge of the finance industry when I decided to apply for a Goldman Sachs internship. I barely knew, as I just told you, what Goldman Sachs was, but I still took a chance. I worked very hard and I applied. And after a multiple set of interviews, I ended up interning at Goldman Sachs. So I urge you, take those chances, even when something feels very far out of reach for you. So I ended up joining Goldman Sachs full-time after graduation. As you heard, I've been here since 2005. I've had an amazing career here. And I'm really lucky that I have an opportunity to work at one of the largest financial institutions in the world, where I run the sustainability fundraising platform, and I work with the firm's largest and most important clients all over the world. My work touches upon some of the most important topics in today's world, which are actually the same topics that I am deeply passionate about. And that's everything from climate change to creating and investing in a more inclusive economy, to being able to create a tangible impact across the communities we operate in. And this leads me to the last piece of advice, and something that I really wish I could tell my younger self, because my path and my journey would have been so much easier. It is very important to allow yourself to enjoy what you do. I know the life that you lead now at Baruch, balancing it all, having challenges in your classes, it's difficult. But learning how to combine pleasure and enjoyment and find the source of enjoyment will allow you to perform even better in what you're doing. And it's important to think about this journey and your journey at Baruch today through a growth mindset. And I would really, really recommend that you spend time thinking about it this way. It's not something that comes natural to me. So if it's not coming natural to you, I would recommend you either do that on your own, or even better, create an ecosystem around you of people who understand what you're going through and can guide you through your journey. So don't be afraid to ask for help and really find that source of joy in the moments of hardships. Is going to serve you a lot. And none of the paths that you're going to take from here are going to be linear, and none of those paths are going to be not difficult. So learn to enjoy both good and the bad. So if there's anything that you should take away from everything that I just told you about Baruch, about my subsequent journey at Goldman Sachs, is that my path has been anything but predictable. And this means that wherever you are on your own path, the opportunity for you to create the future that you want is essentially limitless. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be your keynote speaker. Congratulate you once again, and I wish you nothing but the best on your own journeys. Thank you so much.
Salome, thank you for those inspiring remarks and for recently combining your work experience and passion with giving back to your alma mater by participating in the inaugural Baruch College Climate Conference. Thank you also to Professor Axelrod, Judy Che, our Zicklin faculty and staff, and congratulations again to the Beta Gamma Sigma, Sigma Iota Epsilon, and Sigma Nu Tau inductees, and to the Zicklin School of Business Teaching Excellence Award winners. Have a good morning, everyone, and a really, really successful end of the academic